Hello and welcome. On behalf of Clean Code, I'm me, you are you, and this is an Airbnb medium problem. Find the total number of available beds per host's nationality. Super excited to walk you through this today. Let's start, and we'll pick up at the second line of that problem statement. We're going to find that total number of beds per host nationality, and then output the nationality along with the corresponding total number of available beds. Sort the records by the total available beds in descending order. And if you get this question at an interview with Airbnb, you need to just sit in there and smile and realize you are being given the softball of almost all softball questions. This is classic data manipulation and aggregation in SQL. You could not ask for a better problem to work on. So let's take a look at our data. We got two tables. We got Airbnb apartments, great. Has a lot of stuff in there. Airbnb hosts, cool. So we have the apartment side and then we have the host side. Clearly as a business value proposition, they separate the two together. Makes sense to us. Quickly looking through, we see we have country, but we also have nationality. We'll get more into this when we get into the notebook, but I don't really see anything that screams we have to interpolate our own columns or our own data. We just have to make sure we handle these two final solution cases. I'm super excited to work on this problem with you, and let's go ahead and jump into that notebook. All right, here we are in our notebook, feeling great about life. Let's go ahead, and in yellow, we're going to highlight the conditionals, like the computational conditionals we need to solve for, which is total number of available beds per host nationality. Nice and simple. However, in a separate color, we're going to highlight our two answer conditionals, which is we need nationality and then total number of available beds. And then finally, we need to sort records by beds in descending order. Quick note, you cannot miss these. I have had many, a coffee chat with people who do these interviews to make sure I'm providing some of the best content that I can to help you prepare. And the number of times it's like you've already had to fight the thousands of applicants for this role. You get through that initial phone screen. You're here at a technical phone screen, or maybe the first interview question when you're on site, and you miss the sort by records in descending order. You just don't cover it, and you move right along and nobody stops you. You have to make sure we're not missing the little things. We have to make sure that when we're in this interview session, we are highlighting that we are strong, capable individuals, and we will be a net asset to any team that is lucky enough to get us. And we have to show that, right? Not missing these little steps. So that's why we do the highlighting. Let's take a look at our data. We got not a ton of columns, but honestly more than we need. So let's go ahead and eliminate some. We know host ID is our key, so we're not going to touch that. We don't need apartment ID because a host will be tied to the apartments. So by keeping host, we do not need to keep apartments. We have nothing in our problem about apartment type. We want number of beds. We don't, and I think this is kind of like the trick in the question. We don't care about the number of bedrooms. We know we have nationality, so we don't need to worry about the country the apartment's in, and we don't need to worry about the city. From our host side of the table, we're going to keep nationality. That's like a core value proposition to this problem, but we do not care about gender in this case, and we do not care about age. So I feel really confident we can go ahead and write up our problem plan, block out what we're trying to do, and then I think we can use some very generic functions to help solve this problem. Okay, let's try something different for our problem plan, and we're just going to draw out what we're going to do. So we have our two tables, which is the apartments table and the host table, and we know we're going to need to merge them together to make the set that we want to work on, because we want the nationality from one and we want the number of beds from the other. Once we have, I'm going to call it T0, the one we want. This can be T1, this can be T2. It's going to give birth to T0 or T prime, if you think that's cooler. I think we then want to get into the host nationality, right? And for every different nationality that we have, we need to document that. And then inside the nationality, this is when we need to do our summation. I don't know why I have this little wiggle right here. Let's just get rid of that. Then we do our sum. Finally, I think, we take all of it all together, and then we do our our high to low descending order filtering. So it should be pretty obvious. If it's not, no worries, happy to help. But let's take a couple of seconds here and just think, okay, based on what we need to solve for and what we have and what our problem plan's showing, how are we going to tackle this problem? Hopefully this was a really easy one to kind of piece together. If not, no worries, we'll do it together just now. So we obviously know we need to have a select, and then we know we're going to want to use sum. I think we're going to use an inner join to link our data together. And then I think a group by and an order by will be sufficient for our needs to answer this problem. So let's go ahead and jump back in the code editor. We have got 5 columns, we got 5 different functions. Everything's coming up 5s for us. Let's see if we can get it first time. All right, here we are in the code editor. Let's go ahead and take out this select all. We don't really need that. And I think our first step is we want to select nationality. Let's grab all the nationalities. And then, because we know it needs to go nationality, number of beds, let's grab the summation of all the number of beds, and we're going to call it beds from Airbnb apartment, and we're going to designate that as A. Then we're going to use that inner join, and let's link together our data. So we have Airbnb host B on A.host ID equals B.host ID. We've already called A right here. It's Airbnb apartment. I think it would be a really good idea to group everything together by the nationality. And then finally, we've already made beds as a variable. Let's call it in our order by and put it as descending. Go ahead and click run code. Oh, that is blazingly fast for SQL. Everything looks nice. We have our nationality on the left, we got beds on the right, 320, 2848, 72. That looks correct. Let's go ahead and check our solution. Boom. Look at that, all green lines. On behalf of Clean Code, thank you for working with us here today. And on behalf of everyone at Clean Code, we really, really hope that you have a wonderful interviewing experience. If there's anything that we can do here to help improve that, go ahead, leave a comment. If there's any confusion, drop a comment. We'll have people standing by to answer questions. Until then, see you next time.